What's going on, YouTube? Making another video about the NBA Finals. Listen, I haven't watched basketball, probably a full game since the Michael Jordan era, just to give you an idea. When you had Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, all that stuff, when basketball was actually real. And to the basketball fans that grew up in the area, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, let's be honest, all professional sports in some way, in some form, are rigged. The NFL just probably happens to be the worst, but I think they're all rigged. But what I seen last night from the display of them Toronto Raptor fans, listen, I'm not a Golden State Warrior fan. I'm not a Toronto Raptors fan. I'm not an NBA fan, quite frankly. If I had to choose an NBA team, it'd be the Bulls because I grew up watching them as a kid. And they were just the best. They were the frickin' best. They were unstoppable. But anyways, my theory is Golden State comes down 3-1, right? It's a must-win, obviously. No other choice. But what did it for me is when the Toronto Raptors fans... Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on. I gotta... I'm sorry, guys. These emails pop in. Anyway, the Toronto Raptors fan base showed something last night that was absolutely disgusting. To cheer a man getting injured says a lot about your character. It really does. I have no respect to fans, or players rather, that either play dirty or cheer when people get hurt. I mean, honestly, that is the next level of just being disgraceful. I mean, how can you sit there and cheer a guy getting injured, coming back, trying to bust his ass off, keep his team back in this game? Hey, honestly, it just happened to be the Raptor fans, but that is absolutely pathetic. I'm sorry. And for that reason, I would laugh my ass off if Golden State came back and won this series. Now, there's a good chance Kevin Durant probably ain't coming back, and honestly, he probably shouldn't have came back. I understand why he did, but there comes a point in time where you come back and you're injured, you're actually hurting your team, because I think, honestly, I think Golden State would have won this game regardless. I'm sure Kevin Durant, all he did was just hurt his team at that point when you're injured, but he's a superstar. The bottom line is when you are low enough to cheer for a person getting injured, sports aside, whatever, it's just inhumane. It's not right. And with that being said, like I said, I could give two shits less about the NBA. I mean, really, who cares? The only reason Toronto roots for the NBA is because they got nothing else to root for. Well, except maybe the Maple Leafs, but who cares about hockey either? But we all know football is the sport. But it's like me being a Bengals fan. When Vontaze Burfict pulled his shit playing dirty and the Bengal fans threw beer bottles at the Steeler players, I'm telling you, right, I was ashamed. That's why I wore like Cowboys gear for like 2 months straight, because I was embarrassed to that. To me, I don't give a shit. Sports set aside, I mean, these are human beings. I mean, that's just downright awful. So, that being said, it's at Golden State now Thursday. Chances, I mean, I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, if Golden State comes back and wins this, I'd find this hilarious. I really would. I think this is the first time I've ever talked about basketball, but Toronto fans, I mean, I'm just going to give you my analogy from what I've seen this year of basketball. We all know if Golden State was healthy and Kevin Durant wasn't injured, this would probably be a 4-0 sweep. Toronto would get killed, in my opinion. Toronto's not a bad team, but they're nowhere near, I don't believe, as good as Golden State is when they're healthy. When they're healthy. I mean, there's a reason. You can't sit here and say the refs do this and this. Maybe 1 or 2 years, but this is a team that's been there, what, 5 straight years in the finals? There's a reason for that. I'm sorry, that's just the way I feel. If Golden State was healthy, this would be a sweep finals. It would. So, chances of Golden State coming back, it's not impossible. I said when they were down 3-1, I said it's not impossible. It can happen. I think it just happened a couple years ago, actually, when Cleveland was down 3-1 versus Golden State, and they came back and won. So, I'm just giving you my 2 cents. Raptor fans, you should be ashamed of yourself, the ones who cheered Kevin Durant getting injured. I mean, come on, guys. Really? You're going to go that low? I just think that's disrespectful, inhumane, and so unprofessional. I mean, I'm not saying the Raptors players had anything to do with it, but if you're a Raptors player right now, I'd be mad as hell. I would be disappointed. Anyways, good luck to both teams. But just because of that reason, I'm actually rooting for Golden State to come back and win. So, and it wouldn't shock me if it happened. So, have a good day, all.